Hey everybody, we're back here on the next installment of the video of this HTC M7. I'm going to use a couple tools on this removal, a heat gun and an infrared thermometer. The goal is to go ahead and remove the LCD from its assembly piece here. I'll try to use a suction cup, an iSesamo tool, which is a thin piece of metal. A couple of guitar picks will help us out. You can use playing cards as well, or any other spudger or phone opening tool can assist you. I really like the iSesamo just because it's a thin, about the thinness of a playing card, but metal, so it's nice and easy to use. We're going to use our heat gun here. We're going to go ahead and heat the phone up. Our goal is to get the outside corners as hot as possible without reaching over 180 degrees. We don't want to damage the LCD below the glass on this. So let's go around the corners here. Now we're not actually separating the glass from the LCD at this point. We're just removing the LCD and glass assembly from the frame of the HTC M7. So what we're going to do is basically just cut the double-sided glue on both sides of it and go ahead and remove it, as the LCD is not glued to the mid-frame like the Samsung phones would be. So just getting it hot all the way around, getting it nice and warm with the heat gun here, going all the way around the corners and the sides of the phone. I do have a small attachment on this to kind of focus the heat. You can use just a regular heat gun. You don't have to have the attachment. The goal is just don't get it too hot if you're planning on to reuse the bezel and the mid-frame of this. So we're going to put our suction cup on here, and we're going to try to pull it and see if this will let us open it up. It's a little bit warmer than the plastic phone since the metal heats up a little bit more, so I'm just going to use a glove to help us separate this. You're going to be nice and gentle as you do this. Well, gentle in the sense of we don't want to just rip it off. We want to go ahead and just get the glass to separate a little bit, and then we'll use a guitar pick or a playing card and stick it in there to start to separate the glue on this phone. It's an easy way to save the front bezel as well, as you don't want to use anything that's too sharp because we might damage the LCD. So we're not going very far or deep in, just to the black portion around the LCD. We don't want to separate from the glass yet. We'll use a separator to do that. Just using a guitar pick to go all the way around the phone, and basically just cut the double-sided tape that's holding the LCD into the mid-frame. You can see that we're starting to make a little bit of progress. You can go a little bit deeper down here at the bottom. Now, a playing card would be beneficial to hold what we've done already. Once you start to separate, you can put a playing card in there to hold it so it doesn't re-glue itself to the mid-frame. It does work pretty good. So we're just going to use our suction cup here to help us re-separate here at the top. We'll just hold it with my two forefingers and then put our guitar pick back in. Let's go ahead and just cut down the side. I'm just separating the double-sided tape from the mid-frame of the phone. Now, if you are going to end up putting your pick in deeper, you want to make sure you go all the way underneath the whole assembly of the LCD. You want to start yourself at the top because we're going to fold it down onto the ribbon cables below. It does get a little tricky around the shattered portions of the phone. You'll need to put a little bit more effort in to get underneath the glass. I'm doing the same thing here, just trying to separate, making sure that I'm underneath the LCD and not underneath or in between it. We're going to go ahead and heat it up as the heat temperature fell a little bit, so we're not getting the separation of the glue that we want to, or the tape. So go ahead and just heat it up around the sides here. Since it already has been heated up, it heats up a lot faster than it would the first initial time we were giving it the heat. It's going around the corners and the sides. Alright, we'll go ahead and start our process here again, trying to separate the tape off of this. So you got a lot of progress on this side over here, so we'll just go ahead and keep moving it down. Trying to get underneath the glass here. You can see that it's shattered, so it's a little bit harder in that portion of the screen. Perfect. We're making a lot better progress now. You can see that it's starting to come away, so we can start to slide it all the way underneath the glass and the LCD assembly, and that'll go ahead and start to separate the screen for us a lot easier. I'm going to have to use my iSesamo tool here to get underneath the glass and get that separated. Use it to start us a little bit. You can use a razor blade as well. Perfect. We'll go ahead and open it. As the cables slide into a slot down below, we still have a little bit of adhesive tape down here at the bottom. We'll go ahead and separate this from the mid frame as well. Let's try to pull it off here. If you have a hard time, you can pull it up a little bit and then use your tool to separate the tape here at the bottom. Alright, so we went ahead and separated it from the mid frame of the phone. We can go ahead and set that aside. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is try to take out the SIM slot in the mid frame. So looking at this, you can see that there's a slot right here. It's actually hidden under this matting on the front of the phone. So we're going to go ahead and just push that back. That'll reveal the SIM card slot for us. We're just going to use a pry tool to slide underneath this on the opposite side of the phone. You can use a guitar pick or a spudger. I think I end up using just a piece of a cut up gift card. Something that's wide enough to just kind of go ahead and separate the adhesive on the phone. Perfect. Now, the next step that I'm going to show you is kind of cutting off the glass from the LCD and cleaning it as well. If you don't need to watch that step, you can go ahead and just click to the reassembly video if you bought a whole new display assembly. If you want to watch the separation, go ahead and in the description there'll be a link to the video for LCD separation or glass separation. Go ahead and click that.